We all feel at some point that we have more potential than we are enjoying. There is that uncomfortable feeling that we could be more, achieve more, and live with more purpose. But what prevents us? Lack of time, fear of failure, insecurity? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us that true transformation begins within us. The path to growth is not in shortcuts or instant solutions, but in patience, self-control, and constancy. Imagine being able to turn challenges into opportunities, failures into learning, and uncertainties. Marco Aurelio, Epicteto, and Seneca were masters in the art of living, showing that excellence does not come from external circumstances, but the way we chose to react to them. In this video, you will learn 10 Stoic lessons that will help you overcome your own limits and arouse your true potential. These are practical principles that, when applied, bring more balance, resilience, and inner peace to their lives. If you feel that you are stagnant or that your evolution has been slower than you would like, this content is for you. Let us get to explore how Stoicism can be a guide to wiser decisions, a stronger mind, and a more solid path towards lasting success. Are you ready to take control of your journey? So let's start. You are the author of your own story, but how many times you catch yourself living on autopilot? Life is not a fixed script, and every decision we make puts us on a new path. Epicteto reminds us that it is not what happens to define our life, but as we react to it. If we let the external control go to us, we lose the most precious freedom to choose our attitude towards the challenges. Awareness of our decisions is the first step in taking control of our destiny. Viktor Frankl, amid the horror of concentration camps, discovered a deep truth even when everything is taken us. We still have the power to choose our answer. This last human freedom is the key to a full and balanced life. If we pass the responsibility of our emotions to others, we become hostage to the circumstances. Stoicism teaches that we must appropriate our thoughts and actions, cultivating excellence regardless of what happens around. The difference between stagnation and growth is in the way we face our decisions. Carol Dweck talks about the growth mindset. Those who believe they can evolve become unmayable. But we often wait for the ideal time to act, and it never arrives. Time passes, and indecision keeps us trapped. The only way out is to act now. Take over the reins and turn each choice into a step towards our best. Pain is inevitable, but what we do with it is a choice. Stoicism teaches that instead of escaping suffering, we must face it as a master. Marco Aurelio faced wars, pests, and betrayals, but used every obstacle to strengthen his mind and character. Modern life conditions us to avoid discomfort, but it is in it that we find true growth. The pain can be the fire that forges us or the weight that paralyzes us. It is up to us to decide. Many who won great achievements have undergone intense trials. Athletes who train in extreme pain, entrepreneurs who have failed countless times before success, artists rejected countless times before recognition. What differentiates those who overcome from those who give up is resilience. Stoicism teaches us to practice premeditatio malorum, a mental preparation for adversity. When we prepare to face challenges, they are no longer insurmountable obstacles and become steps to something greater. We do not always understand the meaning of pain the moment we live it, but it carries valuable lessons. Fatty love for destiny is the idea of embracing all the experiences, good or bad, as an essential part of our path. We can carry pain like a burden or turn it into fuel to grow. Choosing to see suffering as part of the process makes us stronger, balanced, and prepared for any challenge that comes. Silence is an invisible but powerful force. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, few dominate the art of listening. Stoics saw silence not as weakness, but as a proof of self-control and wisdom. Seneca warned that speaking without reflection is like shooting arrows in the dark. You can get it right, but the risk of making mistakes is huge. If we learn to silence unnecessary impulses and words, we make wiser decisions and avoid unnecessary regrets. Marco Aurelio said that we should only speak if our words are better than silence. But how many times do we talk just to fill the void or prove that we are right? The ego makes us want to have the last word. but the sage understands that not every discussion is worth it. Strategic silence protects our energy, helps us better observe the world around, and gives us time to think before reacting. True strength is not in the immediate answer, but in the break before it. In addition to external silence, there is an even more valuable inner silence. Those who can't stand being silent with yourself fears your mind. Our peace does not depend on noise or distractions, but on an internal balance that allows us to find clarity even in chaos. If we want to grow and make better decisions, we need to learn to listen more, talk less, and cultivate the tranquility of those who don't have to prove anything to anyone. Failing does not mean that you have lost, it means you tried. In Stoicism, error is not an enemy, but a teacher. Marco Aurelio and Seneca saw obstacles as learning opportunities, as each failure reveals where we can improve. The problem is not making a mistake, but fear the error to the point of not acting. The fear of failure paralyzes and prevents us from advancing. Instead of avoiding challenges, we must accept them as an essential part of growth. The story is full of great minds that have failed countless times before achieving success. Thomas Edison made thousands of attempts before creating the lamp. Walt Disney was rejected several times before building his empire, and J.K. Rowling received countless no before Harry Potter became a phenomenon. What do they all have in common? Persistence. They understood that each failure was a step for something bigger and not a sign to give up. The real danger is not in failure, but as we react to it. Those who see errors as a chance of evolution become wiser and more prepared. Each defeat can be a valuable lesson or a weight that drags us down. The choice is ours. Life rewards those who persist, not those who escape the first difficulty. If you learned something from your failure, then it was not a defeat, it was a step ahead. True power is not in aggressiveness, but in tranquility. Marco Aurelio compared his mind to an unshakable rock in the face of the storms of life. In an accelerated world, where everything requires quick responses and immediate reactions, serenity has become a rarity. But those who keep calm are not controlled by impulses or external circumstances. True strength is not in mastering others, but in mastering yourself. Peace of mind cannot depend on external factors. If your happiness oscillates as problems arise, you will never have stability. Stoics teach us to accept what we cannot change and focus on what is within our reach. When we spend energy fighting with reality, we create unnecessary suffering. Instead, we should ask ourselves, is this under my control? If not, releasing is the only sensible choice. Life will always bring challenges, but it is up to us to decide how to face them. A calm heart does not mean passivity, but emotional intelligence. Have you noticed how the best decisions come when we are serene? Calm down allows us to see solutions where others see chaos. Patience and self-control are not weakness, they are powerful weapons. After all, if you have mastery over your emotions, no one can get it out of your axis. Great achievements require time. We live in an era where everything seems instantaneous, but the truth is that nothing solid is built overnight. Impatience arises from the illusion that we have absolute control over life, when in reality some things need maturation. Those who give up early sabotage their own progress. The journey may seem slow, but every small breakthrough counts as long as you keep walking. Growth often happens invisibly before manifesting externally. Think of the roots of a tree, they deepen silently before the first sheet appears. The same is true of us. Marco Aurelio understood that every choice requires reflection and firmness, and that time is not an enemy, but an ally. He ruled in difficult times, but avoided hasty decisions that could compromise his empire. Modern society sells us the illusion of shortcuts, but masters of any area know that excellence takes time. What comes easy goes easy. Which requires effort, remains. If you seek lasting growth, accept the natural rhythm of things. Solid and disciplined construction guarantees stability in the future. In the end, patience is not just a virtue. It is the smartest strategy for those who really want to win. We live in a time where everything seems to revolve around speed. Easy money promises, instant success, and miraculous changes flood social networks. But the Stoic people knew that real growth does not come from shortcuts, but from constancy. The desire for the shortest path usually leads to frustration. Everything that is solid and lasting requires time, effort, and resilience. Those looking for shortcuts may even arrive fast, but hardly remains at the top. Excellence comes from repetition and daily commitment. Marco Aurelio, even being emperor, has never neglected his discipline and learning. He understood that true power is not at speed, but in the solidity of the built base. In the modern world, we see this clearly in masters of any area: athletes, artists, entrepreneurs. None of them arrived far without years of dedication. Who understands this learns to respect the process. What comes easy goes easy. If it were possible to cut the way to mastery, everyone would be masters. But the reality is that the consistent effort is the only safe investment. Patience and practice are the real shortcuts, as they guarantee results that remain. So the next time you feel impatience or look for a shorter way, ask yourself, I want quick or lasting results. True growth always chooses the second option. True peace does not come from external achievements, but from an unshakable inner domain. The world is unstable, and if its serenity depends on external factors, it will be fragile. Stoics understood that the only thing really under our control is our mind. Marco Aurelio said that it is not the events that disturb us, but the way we interpret them. If you learn to govern your thoughts, nothing can steal your peace. Self-control does not mean repressing emotions, but not being a slave. Feeling anger, fear, or anxiety is human, but allowing these emotions to say their actions is a sign of weakness. Seneca taught that anyone who gives in to the impulse is like a ship without rudder, at the mercy of storms. The secret of tranquility is to act with conscience, not with reactivity. This does not mean indifference, but emotional intelligence. Acceptance of reality is one of the greatest tools for inner peace. We spend too much energy trying to change what is out of our control. But when we accept the gift as it is and focus on what we can improve, life becomes lighter. Reducing unnecessary desires, abandoning the need for external validation, and living with purpose are fundamental steps to gain a balanced mind. In the end, who dominates himself, dominates the world. Is this development in accordance with what you expect or want adjustments? The modern world pushes us to extremes. Either we work until exhaustion or procrastinates without limits. Either we seek immediate pleasure or deprive ourselves of any satisfaction. But true freedom is in balance. The Stoics defended the way of the middle, where we are neither slaves nor excess or lack. Excellence does not come from exaggeration, but from intelligent constancy. Finding this point of harmony is the secret to a stable and productive life. Resting work leads to collapse. Ocio without purpose generates empty. Knowing when advancing and when retreating is an essential skill. Marco Aurelio firmly ruled, but never ceased to cultivate reflection and philosophy. Similarly, we must apply this principle to our routine. Anyone looking for a strong body needs to train and rest. Who wants knowledge should study and reflect. Life is not about extremes, but about a well-adjusted flow. The true dominion of self comes from consciousness and balance. Impulsivity and stiffness are traps that move us away from growth. The middle path requires self-knowledge, patience, and discipline. This means adjusting the route as needed without losing focus. Instead of living in all or nothing, try the little and always. In the long run, who knows how to dose your actions build a more solid and sustainable future. Patience is the basis of any lasting construction. We live in an era of immediacy, where everyone wants quick results without going through the process. But not grand arises overnight. Stoics knew that time is an ally, not an enemy. Who plants today with constancy reaps tomorrow safely. The secret of lasting success is to accept the natural rhythm of things and work with discipline. The shortcuts seem tempting, but they charge a high price. Everything that comes easy goes easy. True growth requires continuous effort, resilience, and adjustments along the way. Marco Aurelio understood that impulsive decisions could compromise his empire. Similarly, in our lives, Every little choice can build or destroy our future. If you want a solid destination, you should invest in the present with wisdom. Accepting that progress takes time strengthens the mind against frustration. True success is not an event, but a consequence of well-cultivated habits. Excellence comes from the tireless repetition of good practices. Whether in studies, business, or personal development, patience and consistency always win at the end. What you do daily is what molds who you will be tomorrow. What really separates those who reach their potential of those who are trapped in the same standards? The answer is not in luck, but in the way we deal with the challenges. Stoicism teaches us that lasting success does not come from shortcuts, but from patience, resilience, and self-control. Now that you know these 10 lessons, which one has resonated with you the most? What first step can you take today to apply this wisdom to your life? Reflecting on these ideas is a great beginning, but the true transformation happens in action. What will you do different from now on? Small daily changes create great results over time. Share in the comments which of these lessons you need to strengthen the most. And remember, each challenge is an opportunity to grow and achieve a new level of excellence. Its future is being built right now. If this content has made sense to you, be sure to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and share with someone who also needs this message. Let's get this powerful philosophy together and build a stronger, more balanced and conscious world. We see each other in the next video.